is so stupid, but we're like 30 minutes in, we're dying. It's a hot class. And the instructor goes, I see we have a comedian in the class. And I'm just like, fuck, this is bad. And she goes, does he want to tell us a joke? And I'm like, I'm in like a pose right now. This is horrible. So I like look to Brian, like, I don't know what to do here. And he gives me a look like, I got this, which I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he's going to do. But he goes, I'll tell a joke. And the whole room is like, what the fuck? I'm like, we're looking like, what's he going to do? And he tells my joke. It's an old joke of mine where he goes, my friend's girlfriend just had a miscarriage in the shower. And I was like, oh my God, worst baby shower ever. He tells this to a room full of women and it is fucking silence. And the instructor just says, well, I'm triggered. And I was like, yeah, that joke usually fucking kills.
There's addicts and there's partiers. Partiers stop when the party's over.
Yeah.
And then addicts just never stop.
That's true.
And I was like, oh yeah, I stop when the party's over.
So you're a partier.
Yeah. I go, the party, I'm not drinking by myself in my room when no one's there and then going like, I'm going to jack off.
No, the difference is with you is that you are the person who goes, come over so that the party can keep going.
Do you realize my one takeaway? I had so many sober realizations.
Yeah.
Like over my time of sobriety.
Yeah.
The number one takeaway
yeah,
is how often everyone wants to go to bed.
This is your takeaway?
Like everyone
wants to sleep.
Everyone wants to sleep.
And you?
Never. I never want to sleep. I never want the party to end.
I
want everyone to stay up with me. I want to have one more drink. I want everyone to like, yo, come on. And then like, I'm cool going to bed, but like at 2 a.m.
By the way, DK's supposed daily routine.
No.
You haven't seen this? He wakes up. I think he has coffee, some water, works out, goes home, gets dressed, goes to practice, has some more water. And they're like, when are you eating? He's like, oh, like at 5 p.m. And then he has some candy too. He likes candy, which is like a Marshawn thing. He's like, yeah, I like to eat candy, like Skittles and shit.
Marshawn used to take a shot of Hennessy, 2 shots of Hennessy before a game. I couldn't do that. And I like drinking. I couldn't do that.
It's fucking crazy to me. Diet sodas, like they have artificial sweeteners. And the way that it was relayed to the layperson was the artificial sweetener might not be sugar, but your body believes that it's sugar. And so when you consume it, you end up, you're tricking your body and you're getting a glucose spike like you would if you were drinking regular soda anyway. And so it turns out it's not even worth it to drink the diet stuff because it's the same as regular soda. And then that became a widely circulated thing that people would say. And the truth is...
So first off, this will be like of all the comments on this video, this will be the most contentious thing.
Really? But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
What?
And this is the only time you can actually say this. There's no tobacco. These are tobacco free. This is straight nicotine. Put your nail in there. Straight nicotine.
Maybe this is the Lord saying something.
Here.
I can't open yours.
It's just nicotine. So you get like the here.
Wow, that came out quick.
You get the nicotine fix. I feel like more focused. You know, it's a little stimulant. It's better than speed. That's what the doc said.
It is?
He goes, you're not going to do speed, right? And I go, probably not.
Will you talk to your doctor about that?
Well, my drinks. But yeah, I was drinking vodka on ice, just enjoying just nice, cold, crisp vodka.
There is nothing better.
It was delicious.
Than the cleanest drink you can have in the world. Whiskey is a dirty whore who loses her shoes.
Yeah.
Okay? Gin is a chick you didn't realize was overweight until you wake up the next morning. Tequila gives you an STD.
Yeah, tequila's wild.
But fucking vodka.
Vodka's a gentleman's drink.
Vodka leaves before you wake up with a note by your bed.
Yeah.
And you smile and you go, God, I wouldn't mind fucking her one more time.
I just didn't care. I didn't care about the movie. I just kind of moved on. And this comes out and I'm like, oh, it's that fucking guy. And here's the thing. I watched this movie and I was so blown away by how good of an actor Matt Damon was in this movie. I was like, oh, this guy is fucking legitimately like an amazing. He's fantastic in this movie.
So good in it.
And then I remember seeing the trailer for The Firstborn. I was like, this fuck is gonna play like a badass.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't.
And he's gonna crush it again.
And I saw the trailer. I was like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then I saw the movie.
Let me smell your dick. And then I pull it out and she goes, it's clean. We can fuck. But like, I deserve, like, and look, I'm being for real.
Yeah, you deserve.
And this is
more
conversations me and her have had.
Yeah.
I deserve. I think I'm getting the credit now. I think now that we're both getting older,
Yeah.
I think she's like looking back, going like, "Well, I couldn't have fucking cheated on her for the longest time, but the last 2 years, I could have fucking been slaying pussy."
Yeah.
But I
Now
feel
she's
that,
like, thanks for not doing that.
now she's like, God, I can't believe I got this good of a guy.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is I found a ring at SeaWorld. I held on to it for 12 years. For 12 years. Leanne, at one time, we were hurting for money a lot. And it's a sapphire ring. I think sapphire. What's the green one? Emerald?
Yeah.
It was an expensive ring.
You wouldn't necessarily know that, but he's pretty disciplined about what he eats outside of his drinking.
A lot of people don't realize this. Well, I had 7 shots of vodka. It doesn't have any calories. Yeah, it does. It has 7 calories per gram. So like a shot has like anywhere from 60 to 80 calories.
Oh.
So you do like 7 shots, you're talking over 500 calories. So what I would say is so I don't know Bert real well.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I've seen on social media and what he's talked about. He loves him some alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the idea that he's going to be able to cut that out completely for the rest of his life is probably low.
Yeah.
So if he wants to be able to consume that, then that means probably choosing drinks that are as low calorie as you can. Straight liquor is going to be lower calorie.
The key about dyeing your beard is not dyeing it all.
Right.
It's about subtly dyeing it. Taking big patches. Like you got a strong mustache.
Yeah, this is everything is the way it is, right? So
You don't touch it at all.
No.
What is your hair gray?
I don't know. I haven't seen it in forever.
What was the longest you let it grow out?
Now?
Yeah.
A few days.
Really?
Yeah, 4 or 5 days.
And you shave it yourself?
Yeah.
Clippers or razor?
I use the electric one. Where your hand molds to it.
Yeah.
And I just go in the shower.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because it's easy. It gets really smooth.
I can't believe I still have any hair.
Let's see. You always cover it up though.
Yeah, I know, because it just looks perfect.
It looks perfect with the hat on?
Looks fine with the hat on. But it's thinning, but I can cheat it.
Mm-hmm.
I can cheat it.
Do you ever go without the hat?
Yeah, all my specials. When I do stand up, yeah.
When you do stand up, you do it hatless?
Yeah, I do it hatless. I like wearing a hat because I think I look cute in a hat.
Cute.
Yeah.
I'm Tom. He's Bert. You went to Metallica last night?
Fucking 4 men played for 70,000 people as if it was in their backyard.
Really?
4 men. 4 fucking men. They reposted that. I was high as fuck.
They reposted.
They reposted me 3 times. Metallica reposted me 3 times. Dude, I picked up Isla for school. This is a badass video.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Did you see my stories yesterday? I had to go take Isla to school. I go get her coffee in the morning. I'm a pretty present dad these days.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing. Georgia got fucked. I wonder why we had so many problems when she was in high school.
So the lady behind her, she had a conflict with the lady behind her because she was vaping. You're not supposed to vape at the show.
Hey,
here she goes.
can you not
Lady
vape?
goes, can you not vape? And she's like, yeah, leave me alone. Yeah.
It's super disrespectful.
And now,
The dick comes out?
no, she grabs his dick, but it doesn't come out. Oh, they didn't show that part. Now they asked her to leave. Her and the guy. He's grabbing his head. She's grabbing his dick the whole time.
That is crazy.
But it just reminded me of all the
Yeah, of
things in an
course.
audience where you're like, that's
because
that couple.
this is the equivalent of, hey, could you keep it down? And they're like, I'm talking to my daughter right now. Like where they tell you what, and you're like, yeah, I don't care. You're doing it the right way. I swear to God, I will be following your example on the next one.
But I just worry, what if I go out of business in a year and then I fucking miss half the dates,
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. The thing is that once you have like what you have going on, you have all these fans that people want to see you. It's like, you don't have to like make it hard on yourself. You can actually.
Oh, I was cracking toilet seats because I don't, when you're that fat, by the way, there's the minutia of fat, like stretching a shirt These are things that fat guys do. Stretching a shirt before you put it on. The idea of putting on pants where you go, these are barely going to get around my ass. And then going through your wardrobe and having absolutely nothing to wear. Putting on a suit and realizing I feel like I'm in a fucking prison. But nothing connects more than cracking toilet seats. Where
Cracking the seats?
I cracked so many seats. And then what would happen is I just land too hard on them. Like I'd go to take a shit and I'd go wham, and then it would crack. And then you couldn't find the crack, but then when you got up, it would pinch your leg, dude. 2 days later, I'm hungover. I'm doing shows at the store. I'm hungover. The girls are up, and Isla's like, "Hey, are you making breakfast?" I was like, I think I'm gonna just sleep. And I hear Leanne, let him sleep. He was out late last night. But in my head, I know that I'd written it down. That makes me happy. So I went, stop, get out of bed, go make them breakfast, and see if that works again. And I made them breakfast. My hangover went away. I'm laughing. I'm having coffee. We're all joking. They go all get in the car and go. And I go, God damn it, it works. So it's like quantifying happiness. So what I do is I quantify, when I stop drinking, the first 5 days is the most interesting because you have an impulse. You know, when you started losing weight and you would go you'd find out how many times you actually went to the fridge.
Sure.
Or how many times you went to a bag of chips and you were like, oh, wait, I can't have chips. I'm trying to eat clean.
Yeah.
So it's easy to do with weight loss, but when you drink a lot, there's a lot of times where your brain will say to yourself, hey, we should have a drink. You're not going to like this theory.
Okay.
I believe everyone who is an admitted alcoholic sees everyone's drinking problem. I think it's like they're hyper aware of everyone's drinking problem and see everything as a problem. Because it's really hard talking to anyone that's in recovery and not convincing you have a problem. The same way that like when COVID was going around and everyone was like, is that a cough? You got COVID. And it was like contagious. Right. I think recovery is contagious.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. And whatever, my view on it is that it's like people who have diabetes, they're not mad at sugar and they don't like.
I think they are. You don't think people with diabetes want to eat sugar?
Well, sugar's not a bad thing. It's just that they can't have it.
Yeah, but I think they live a life where they go, I would love to be able to eat cake at a birthday party. Taylor Swift just kind of has an idea, and it's a fucking platinum album. You put Taylor Swift in a room, and she could make the gross national product equivalent of money of a country. If you put her in a room, think of that talent. If you put her in a room with a guitar or piano or just a cymbal, she could come up with enough money to support an economy of a fucking small city. Easy.
Yeah, true.
How do you date that? How do you date that? When she says, let's get pizza, you go, you've been right every time anything's coming out of your mouth. Everyone agrees. So
yeah.
I mean, how do you date that? When we date like mediocre chicks, when we marry mediocre, Jesus Christ, Rogan has 18 million on Instagram. Taylor Swift has 276 million fans.
Ellis is starting jiu-jitsu.
For real?
Yeah.
Did you consult Uncle Joe?
I talked to him. I talked to a couple other people.
Isla's in jiu-jitsu. Isla's in jiu-jitsu.
Really? Does she like it?
She's been doing it for a few years, yeah.
Oh, really?
She choked me out the other night.
Does she like it?
Yeah, she loves it. She loves it. She's like, I don't know where we were, and she was like, I could choke you out. And I was like, you couldn't fucking choke me out. She goes, it's easier with big guys. I go, what? She goes, come here. And those little needle arms of hers went right under my chin, and Leanne and Georgia were watching, and I went like, and they started laughing so hard, and as soon as Isla heard them laughing, she just tightens it up, and I'm like, no, I'm tapping, and she's like, I haven't learned to tap yet. And I was like, what?
Ellis is like, I think I want to do jiu-jitsu. And I go, oh yeah?
Hold on. This doesn't look good.
Yeah,
look how big that fucking shark.
Huge great white. And he's like, oh, cool. And it has an open top. That's not a cage that's closed.
That's not a cage. That's a casket.
Yeah. And he's like, look at the shark. Let's tap this thing and see what it does.
Scroll and see if this thing attacks him. Go to the peak.
Oh.
Right there is where.
Like
Oh!
Yeah, that dude.
And then now it's already in attack mode.
Yeah.
And it just shattered that cage.
I mean,
Wait, what did it look like from behind? There's a moment of panic where they decide to fucking burn it to the ground. I would love to find that Instagram feed of just one orderly who just doesn't look like he deserves respect, who gets destroyed every time people check into rehab.
Well, I'll tell you, like I spit on the first guy, and then like I was pretty convinced that I was going to calmly talk my way out of it, but they had me dead to rights. There was no talking.
And they did 70,000 tickets last night,
and they're doing it again Sunday.
but they're only doing like 8 cities.
Yeah, they're doubling up. Do you know how brilliant that is from a business, by the way, what they did for people that don't know? So it's called like the no repeats. So a lot of times when a band of that magnitude plays a city, they're like, we're doing Friday, Saturday at SoFi. Mm-hmm. You're a fan. You go, all right, I'll go to Friday, see the show. Well, on this tour, they're saying that, and when they go to a city and they play more than one, the 2 shows won't be the same. So if you go to Friday's show, and you see Sunday, they're like, yeah, but Sunday will be totally different. So what ends up happening?
I bought a 2-day pass.
But
I bought 2 2-day passes.
I mean, how brilliant is that, though?
Wait, so your entry level watch was just like a regular Submariner?
Yeah, it's like a blackface Submariner. It was probably Cheryl, my wife got it for me. My wife's like, I am from the Midwest and I'm kind of frugal, and like your best friend was for you. My wife Cheryl's like that for me. She's like, no. Like she always is stepping us up into nicer and nice things that we can afford. But I left to my own devices probably wouldn't do it.
That's my wife. I never would have bought our first house. I never would have bought this house or that house. I never would have bought any house we have. But my wife grew up poorer than I did.
Same.
And she was like, yo, this is how you start generational wealth. This is how you get out of poverty, is you invest your money, and the safest place is in properties for her.
De Niro, his wife calls me up. This is, no matter how long you've been in business, every mistake in comedy I made. You didn't make it.
Yeah.
Like that lady with the mic, this was me doing that.
Right.
So she goes, Bob's having a 60th birthday party. You do a De Niro impression, which I really didn't, but maybe I did a half-assed one. But she goes, could you come down and just do the impression? So you ever see Ralph Cramden when he goes, I'm going straight for the $99,000 answer? You ever watch The Honeymoon? Mm-hmm. I go, I'll do better than that. I'll do an act. And even she goes like this, like, all right. I mean, we just want the impression. I go, I'll do, trust me. I'm very, she's like, all right. So right away, I write an act, a 20-minute act. It's all on paper. You can't memorize an act in 3 days of 20 minutes specific to one person. I write it all out about De Niro.
Is blackface that bad?
I've said how I feel about it, but people don't want to hear it.
I do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think if you're a young kid and you like love a guy like Draymond Green or one of your favorite athletes, or even, then I think it's weird. We're almost perpetuating the racism. It feels like to me. I'm also white,
Yeah, sure, I understand.
And so it feels though like at a certain point you would say, oh, this kid can do that. He can idolize a black character because he's not, at a certain point, the malice has gone out of it. It's not like you're making, because they used to have to do it because of the, they didn't allow black people to be in movies. And so they would paint white people black. Right. The minstrel shows and stuff. Or they would sometimes paint,
Greece. They're so, it's a culture that's spoiled for vacation.
For vacation,
we crush hanging out.
What about
we crush having a good time?
For sure you do.
Grilling,
the food
hanging
is
out,
insane.
having coffee for 8 hours.
What's your favorite Greek dish?
I'm a traditionalist where I just like, give me some fresh shit grilled.
Yeah.
Like anything you want. And what's great about Greece, like you go to any beach, there is a restaurant on the side of the beach, and they all have the exact same menu.
And they all have the lamb and the cucumbers.
Lamb, Greek salad. Yeah. Like here's my go-to spread. Tzatziki, of course, the the yogurt dish. A Greek salad. You get fried calamari. I like it fried. What can I say? But grilled is nice too. You get lamb chops or something called kodosouvli, which is like a slow roasted pork
Oh,
spit.
dude, you're
where
making me
it's like-
salivate. Is blackface that bad?
I've said how I feel about it, but people don't want to hear it.
I do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think if you're a young kid and you like love a guy like Draymond Green or one of your favorite athletes, or even, then I think it's weird. We're almost perpetuating the racism. It feels like to me. I'm also white,
Yeah, sure, I understand.
and so it feels though like at a certain point you would say, oh, this kid can do that. He can idolize a black character because he's not, at a certain point, the malice has gone out of it. It's not like you're making, because they used to have to do it because of the, they didn't allow black people to be in movies. And so they would paint white people black. Right. The minstrel shows and stuff. Or they would sometimes paint,
I was shit-faced on the flight. I got in the next flight, and it was getting into Vermont at like 10:30, so I missed the show. But I was fucking wasted on the Connect flight because I was so cranky. I was like a middle seat last row, which is all they had, so I'm fucking bummed. And I was tweeting at American Airlines like, thanks for calling me Jew boy, fuckers. Like I was just making shit up because I was so drunk. And they tweeted back, we've decided to give you 7,500 points. And then I wrote back, I was so drunk. I was like, you fucking anti-Semites. And they were like, we've decided to give you an additional 7,500 points. And I just picture like N-word, they're like 25,000.
Yeah, they have different tiers.
But Jew boy, they're like, we have to start low because he'll haggle with us. So he has to.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's the most disrespectful thing I've ever heard anybody say. He and his team were up by 86, he said. 86 in a basketball game. And so then they start scoring against themselves. And at a certain point, the guys they're playing against start to get pissed, obviously, because he's draining. He's like, I'm helping you out.
This is what brings me back to the Kelsey brothers.
It's fucking
We
wild.
can't do what you do. How dare you do two Bay Airs better than us? How dare you do a better podcast than us? We got to show them our fucking strength, Tom.
Okay.
They need to respect us.
They do.
What do? How do we take these guys just back to our eye level? Just so they realize.
One of us get on a plane to Philly. One of us goes to Kansas City, and we just fucking have a real 1-on-1, 2-on-2.
How much bigger is Jason than me?
He might have a.
Is he 6'1"?
Let's
How
see.
big is Jason Kelsey? And it's so fucking great.
And that's what it felt like for us when the kids got out of the house.
For real?
Yeah.
Were you nervous when they left that you were like, what are we going to talk about? What's our relationship going to be?
No, because we spent a lot of time. I was optimistic that
Is John your oldest?
He's the youngest.
Okay, so how's he right now?
My oldest is 29 and Johnny's 27.
So you guys have been empty nesters for a little while.
Yeah, we've been empty nesters for a few years. And it was like you just feel like you want to rip your clothes off and run through the house and go, "Wah!"
Yeah.
And so you kind of do. That's what happens.
I've been walking around naked a lot.
It's so good.
He seems like he doesn't care about that kind of stuff. Right.
Like he just needed a bit. He does in a weird way. Like he becomes like, if you met Tom, he's really good at making friends. And then I'm not good at making friends. I'm just not good at making friends.
Really?
You're
so friendly.
We'll
and
hang out, we'll talk, and then
Yeah.
at the end you'll be like, "Do you like cigars?" I go, "I love cigars." You go, "We should have a cigar," and I go, "Yeah," and then I'll never call you back.
Okay.
And so I have a weird thing with like I don't know why. Like I'm weird at boundaries. Rogan was the one, I've said this a number of times.
Right.
Had to pull me aside and be like, "Man, we're trying to be your friend, and you're not letting us." And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't understand why dudes like." I already have a wife and kids. What do I need friends for? And then I realized, friends are fucking super valuable to talk shit about your wife and kids about.
Yeah, who else are you going to talk to?
Yeah. Why don't you put one in?
It's in right now, bro.
Oh, you have one in?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's almost like being AIDS. You don't even know who has it.
Yeah, I have it in. It's great.
So
I had one in for a photo shoot, and I forgot. And you can see every photo. I'm like,
can you tell I have one in? I put one in my lip like that. I should put it here. Oh God, it feels so good.
Well, let's.
Feels like you're brushing your teeth.
It's great. It's good for you. Never quit. I'm very proud that you took such good care of yourself.
But then you go, fuck. I mean, everyone wants what happened to Matt. Everyone wants it.
Everyone
Yeah.
wants it.
But could you come out on the other side like guys that happened to? Matt Rife, Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher was in LA for like 13 days. And then he got '70s show.
Really? That quick?
He said, I'll give myself 2 weeks. He's like, at the 13th day. By the way, I'm paraphrasing. I'm sure it's longer. I'm sure it was like 6 months. But like,
I think also, do you remember that actor, Josh Hartnett? Was that his name?
God, he was gorgeous.
He's
still gorgeous.
He came to LA. The story was, I think the story was that he booked his first audition.
He's
First or second audition.
What's he doing now? He is fucking perfect.
He's still acting.
People who replace with water, what it suggests is they're seeking out that sweet taste somewhere else. And so they're compensating for those calories somewhere else. But people who are drinking diet soda, they're not compensating as much for it. And so they're actually getting into a calorie deficit and losing weight. And on every single post I do about this, I'll have people who will come on and say, all I did was replace soda with diet soda and I lost 50 pounds.
Right.
You know?
Because if you're like a regular Mountain Dew, Coke
You can
drinker,
drink
and you're drinking the
liters of that
regular
stuff.
and like, you know, the people, because there are people who really pound like 10 of those cans a day. And you're like, holy shit.
So for me to be happy is I need the baddest bitch is in that resume. I'm top sales. I'm eating good. I'm eating clean. I got a good group of friends. I got a nice car. I got a condo. I'm accruing money in that condo. Got a great stereo system. I got shit dialed in. What I need is a bad motherfucking bitch.
Yeah.
I want a chick that other dudes are like, oh fuck yeah, right?
Yeah.
Here's the flaw in that.
Mm-hmm.
What you got to do is lower your expectations and say, this is what I can get. What's the best of what I can get? Like, what's the thing, the hidden thing? I said to Leanne, I love your body. And Leanne is not a fan of her own body. And she just is like, I could do this and do that. And I said, and this is so fucked up. But when I get Leanne naked, it's like a secret.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm going to show you how I get ready for my day. And he was like, first off, I take a pound of frozen ground beef, put it on the counter. Put rice in the rice cooker, boom. Folgers. What the fuck kind of life advice am I getting? What the fuck? And he's like, meal prep. And that's how I start my day. That guy is every guy you know, every guy you grew up with, every guy busting his ass who watches, no offense, but Andrew Huberman and David Goggins and goes, yeah, I've been in the sun all day moving lumber. I don't have access to that, nor do I have the funds, but I do want to better myself. And then I started reading all those things, and all those things are like, yo, it's like, I'm paraphrasing, but like, yo, it's okay to work on yourself and to go to therapy. Every dude working a real blue collar job would love a little bit of a hack on how to make their life a little more manageable so they can be there for the kids in the morning or be there at night when they get home. Their day isn't over.
You're like, I don't know whether today or
I couldn't tell you what hungover felt like versus not hungover. Like I just knew a homeostasis of like waking up and what's interesting is I would wake up in a panic with like a fire under my ass going, all right, we got to work out.
It's like it works with him doing what he's doing. In other words, like if you go, I'm going to pose like this and do, like, I don't know, man, like you could try, but it's probably working for him because it's a unique thing where he's authentically being himself.
There's no place for scams, but there's no place for like, you know, hiding $500 from your wife so you and the boys can do a little yak. You know what I mean? Like old times.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everything. There is a, here I am romanticizing the very thing I said was dog shit, but you know, this isn't that much better. It's just, you know, our overlords now are like huge tech, banks,
huge corporations,
huge corporations that are much easier. One thing I will say, not to get tinfoil hat with it, it's much easier for like somebody to control everything now, whereas like back then, try getting a bunch of Italians to do your bidding. Impossible.
I saw it, my Georgia saw it and was like, oh no, Isla saw it. She goes, oh buddy. I go, what? She goes, you're not gonna like the way you look. She goes, Baby Walrus is happy, but Baby Walrus is all over the place. And it's fucking the most embarrassing.
How long ago was this?
Fucking, I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, a year?
No. Oh, fucking recent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in April.
Okay.
It was after I did my special, so April, May. So this is why I'm pitching spray tans. Okay. So
so you're going to, all you said was you're going to do this, and that Leanne was like, I'm going to wear a sleeveless shirt or something, right?
Yeah, and if anyone can find the crying video of me accepting that fucking award.
Find that. Jay, like almost every day. Because of the stretch of beach that I would do this on, getting into the water and getting out of the water were the most treacherous parts.
Oh yeah.
Because the seafloor and certain parts would just disappear. So you'd be walking and like the water would be at your knees and you're going out and then you're underneath. It just goes from 2 feet to like 8 feet, right? And then when that happens, you have waves that if they're already broken, you have to go under because you can only go, you go over if they're starting to break or underneath it. But if they've already broken and they're coming in and you try to like face it, it not only fucks you up and it spins you, but the current of the water that has already broken comes back. So they meet each other and like will spin you out. So the funny thing is I'm like being around you, looking at you, it feels like it would be, it feels easy like to imagine them shaping a show around you though, like you're so unique and like your story, your back, it feels like they would have been like jumping on each other to go like, we got a show for you. Was that not ever brought to you?
Never.
Like the idea that a guy like Zach Bryan can be writing songs in the military and sets up his phone and just sweating, just singing his ass off and can connect with people with no in between, right?
Yep.
And that's why sometimes the establishment don't like him because they had absolutely nothing to do with his success. But we've gotten to a place where like we're back. The last time this really happened, and somebody's going to argue with me, but fuck them, was in the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
Right? Where you would see guys that were like writing their own songs and singing
Willie
their
Nelson,
own songs. Willie Nelson, Waylon, Dylan,
Christopherson.
James Taylor, they're Outlaws. But I mean, it went over like, I was playing, Jackson Free. Have you wrote with him yet?
Oh, yeah.
So excited you were about that lyric.
I don't know. I mean, it caught me off guard.
Ain't that a map dot?
Ain't that a map dot shame?
Ain't that a
It's like,
map dot shame?
Rodney Dangerfield was pretty famous. He would like if he was on a shoot or something, he would in his off moments he would get get in a robe and just hang out like when he wasn't shooting, like literally in a robe and slippers. I think because he felt real free in it, like his body felt free, and he would just write down. He would hang out by people, and if something was funny, he would write it down on a notepad and just keep it in his pocket. That's kind of like a famous story that I heard. I find if I'm like say like the funniest times I ever am is if like say if I was like hanging out with a girl, right, and she stayed over in the morning. And I think it's kind of the same thing if you drank all night and you wake up in the morning, you're laughing like with your spouse or something or with your spouse.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like having just that funny time right there. That's my fun. I think that's when I feel like
that's your golden hour of comedy.
It really is. Yeah.
Foreign dad, what you're describing is just a very turned up version of most foreign dads that I know.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's just slowly we're putting some humanity into these people. Because all those people were, even if they weren't sociopaths, they probably had, think about how atrocious their fucking lives were.
That's what I always think about. We talk like when Christina talks about her parents and grandparents and like, all their shortcomings and what was normal to them. I'm like, but what was his fucking childhood like?
I know.
That must have been fucking horrific. I
Totally.
mean, their dad was like, we, find dead soldiers and just play with their bullets that were falling. You're like, that's what he did when you went to the fucking mall.
Yeah, right, right.
Like,
that was his mall.
Yeah.
Was like the mass grave. You would pick through the mass grave to find cool shit.
He didn't understand. She told me this, that people have their dogs indoors here.
Can I ask a weird?
Are you gonna
Tom,
ask?
you okay?
Okay.
Can I ask an interesting question to both of you guys? It's a two-parter. Well, it's a two-parter. I'm going to ask the second part in a second. Do you see the piano other than just white and black things? And do you see that, or do you feel it? And then secondly, I want to know how do I tap into that? Because as I watch him, I'm so inspired by just you fucking around, like you playing with Amazing Grace last night and taking us on a ride. You take us on a ride, and that improvisation is what I'm obsessed with. But I'm curious to know how your brain works when you play music.
One of my friends growing up, his dad was one of these like outrageous dads like that,
Right.
and like I remember one of the first times that I'm hanging out with my friend at school, and then I go to his house, and his dad was like, "Are you here to see my little girl?" And I was like, "What?" And he doesn't have a little. It's his son, and I was like, "Yeah," because I didn't know yet.
Right.
And then he goes, he likes to, and then he had a cell phone, the old cell phone with the antenna that's permanently up, And he goes, here's my son. He's playing with his little dick. Like, but he's doing this in front of his son and his friends.
Yes.
We're howling as friends. We're teenagers.
Yes.
And my friend's like looking at me. He's like, are you amused? This is
this is my life.
This is every day. And I was like, I go, yeah, dude, it's pretty fucking fantastic. I loved it. A private event on, next Tuesday at this place. We'd love for you to host it. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. I was like, great. And they're like, and then the next day, there's a golf outing. They're like, believe me, you want to come. And I was like, okay, cool. Everyone, all the girls are just like,
yes.
And then they're like, all right, like 15 minutes. So I go up there. And here's the thing. When you walk into a packed room, it's loud, right?
Yes.
When I grab the mic, none of the volume in the room changes. Like you go like, oh, we're starting now. You start tapping it. I go, we're starting. Hello? And then I look at the guy and he was like, and I go, what do you mean? I go, like, no one is listening. Not like a few.
Right.
They're still like, you're just having the party. So I was like, hello. I start to say shit. I'm like, you guys are fucking rude.
Most people in the industry don't seem to understand that there's different audiences for different comedians. It's not one big thing.
None of us are above taking money for things. But there are times when you've done stand-up long enough where you get an offer for something and it's like, I'm not shaking my head at the money. And then you go like, these are not equal.
That's 100% right. And you can't believe you're not going to take the money.
That's
but you're
part.
like, damn it. And you keep, and but the problem is when you do take the money, that month beforehand is ruined.
Yeah, it is.
Your whole life is ruined because your stomach hurts because you're like, I know I'm going to this thing. It's not going to be pretty.
And I'll go ahead and say, and when I did the Home Builders Association of Northern Kentucky, it was a terrible idea. It's one of the most horrific, traumatizing experiences of my life.
I had to get like, hey, I'm going to be like, I'm going to miss curfew tonight because I'm getting catapulted into the sky in a porta potty full of shit. Like, all right, okay, we'll give you permission, but make sure you get back and scrub the toilet in here.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had a roommate.
Dr. Drew.
Yeah,
Dr.
there
Drew.
he is.
Hey, Drew, you're saving my life here.
Okay.
Yeah, Drew.
Hello, Steve-O. What's happening, buddy?
Hey, do they need to edit out that I said that you were the director of the chemical dependency unit at the rehab that I went to straight from the psych ward?
Do you need to edit that out?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
It's up to you. You're the patient.
All right.
So like apps, like you can watch
Peacock. Yeah.
I forget what CBS is called, but it's like they all have one. And now those apps and those streaming ones actually make shows. And I don't mean this to sound like super condescending, but I'm like, who I don't know anybody who goes, did you check out that thing on the
Freeform?
CBS?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, I don't know any, but they're making shows. But the difference is nobody goes, man, I hope I get one of those shows.
Right.
When we were starting out and like starting to do shows, and everybody was like, God, I want to get a sitcom.
Oh, give anything.
Yeah, and then it morphed. Welcome to the program.
Hey guys,
As
brand new
always,
episode of Two Bears, One Cave. Hey Andrew,
my
is liver
co-host-
drainage a real thing?
My co-host.
No, is liver
Bert
drainage?
Kreischer.
You know nothing about how this podcast works.
Yeah.
This is my co-host Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's called Two Bears, One Cave.
Yes.
And
This is renowned professor and podcaster Dr. Andrew Huberman, Stanford ophthalmology, neurobiology, and you have but you also
I have an appointment in neurobiology, ophthalmology, and by courtesy in psychiatry.
wait, have you ever seen the girl get her leg bit off?
by a shark.
They were in what is this one? Massive great white, 3 o'clock. Shark attacks fucking freak me out.
Yeah. Oh, and this is he in he's in a proper cage though, right? Or no?
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind going to Guadalupe Island and swimming with great white sharks in those cages. Those sharks are fucking massive. It's crystal blue, but it's a 3-day boat trip to get there.
Where?
To Guadalupe Island. Type in Guadalupe Island.
Wait, does this thing attack the cage? Thanks for coming, man.
Dude, thank you for having me here, man. And thank you. I want to thank you too for just over the years, like if I've ever called or had a needed suggestion about something, you always offer me suggestion or Guess I appreciate that.
Anytime. Don't you want to have it lasered off?
I'd laser. I don't know if that would hurt so bad.
No, it doesn't hurt that bad.
I don't want it on my taint or my asshole.
Yeah, let's get it lasered off.
I don't want it on my underarms either.
You can get that lasered off too.
I think I've broken my underarm hair and they smell forever now. That's a thing.
What is a thing?
Underarm hair can get a fungus on it where when you smell like bad, you can't get rid of it. The hair smells bad forever.
Really?
Yeah, and you gotta shave it off. Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
Google it. We went to one of the best fucking restaurants, Joe Beef's in Montreal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Man. All right, back to spray tans.
Okay.
Spray tans. Spray tans.
Spray tans.
So Leanne's gonna wear a strapless dress to go there. Leanne looked fucking. Hang on. Leanne looked fucking hot. Go to Leanne's. Go to my Instagram. You'll see a picture of me and Leanne at Montreal. I'm sure.
Club.
Never.
So I first worked it as a feature.
Yeah.
And I remember my agent at the time was like, "All right, you got it. You know, whatever. It's like $100 a show. You got to work clean." And I'm like, he's like, "You can do that, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like 20 minutes. I'm like, "Yeah." So I make it like almost like a challenge. And you're trying to like tweak words and, oh, don't do this bit, do that bit.
Just destroying your set.
Dude, yeah. And like as you arrive, by the way, like they pick you up from the airport. They're like, "Hey, it's clean, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, my agent told me." And then they like drop you off at the hotel and they're like, "Don't forget, it's a clean set." You're like, "I got it." And then they pick you up and they're like, "Don't forget, you got to work clean." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Tom buys a watch from her. I think she had to stop him. And so then I go in. The next time we go, I said, "Hey, Christine, I don't know if you have any inventory at all, but Tom and I are coming to do a gig in Vegas. We're going to make pretty good money. We'd love to stop by." She goes, "Your watches will be waiting for you." So we roll in and they're fucking like, and by the way, Tom and I are both wearing Rolexes and they go, "Your watches are waiting for you." And we're like, "What did we get?" And they're like, "Don't worry about it. Here you go." We just bought two. We just put credit cards down, open the box. I was like, "That's the one I fucking wanted." It was fucking the GMT. I've wanted a GMT for a long time because I travel so much. And it was a green GMT. It's a Sprite GMT with the left-handed bezel. Tom and I have a picture. Tom and I have a picture of us with both.
So, I mean,
it's the funnest thing. It's the funnest thing.
We don't get purses and things.
No. And if you want a baby, you figure that out. And I was like, and I just felt bad because it was always the women. It was never the guy.
Yeah.
The guys never won in vitro. It's the fucking women. And so I just kind of would slide in with not a ton of money, but whatever I had, whatever I felt was easy to type in.
Easy to type in. A few grand?
1,000. I don't think I've ever given less than 1,000.
Yeah.
I give 1,000 easy. I've got the most I've ever put in GoFundMe is 20 grand. What was like, I mean, like, I think every guy runs through, like, you had your pick of women. You had your pick of women in Hollywood in the heyday.
It was a good time. It was a good time. As I walk away, I hear Robert Wagner say, "I think that young man has banged every one of our daughters."
Rob Lowe, you're a legend. When you talk about, I'm careful with my words because I'm a fan.
Sure.
Of his. But when you talk about, like, someone said to me,
blowing it. When you talk about blowing it,
he has, like someone said to me the other day, it's a shitty thing, but people go, if you quit drinking, you'll lose all your fans. And then I go, no, I definitely won't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely, I think that they don't even see me drunk.
I mean, there were people, I don't know how many of them there still are, but like I would see people say, "Oh man, Steve-O, you were funnier on drugs, man. You were way funnier."
That person's a fucked up person.
That person is just plain wrong.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be here. And
yeah,
it's like saying Chris Farley was funnier on drugs. No,
yeah,
I would still love him here.
And also, when you like just look at a 3-month-old photo, you're like, what the fuck, right? Like, I mean, when I look at photo of myself, even from a year and a half ago, I'm like, damn. I was fully delusional.
No, I apologize to your agent. Did he tell you that?
Yeah, he was really touched by it.
Well, we were at some party in L.A. and he came up to me and I was like, hey man, I owe you an apology. 'Cause he came up to me right at the very beginning of my downward spiral, and I say downward spiral in the funnest fucking possible way.
Well, we have to set up the context. So what happened was maybe a year and a half to 2 years ago, something like a year and a half ago. We were both in New York. We happened to be both in New York on the same night, and we met up for dinner with a group. We went out with a whole group of people.
It was right. I mean, it was right when I started putting on weight.
What's this fucking guy doing?
He just did 83 days without booze.
Insane.
83. And he said he ate pretty clean.
Yeah, he looked good. The pictures.
And in those, I think, so 83 days is what? It's almost 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think he dropped like close to 40 pounds.
That's insane, dude.
But that just tells you what the booze for him normally is. When I was at my fattest, people would be like, man, just stop drinking. I'm like, I don't drink really.
Dude, I hate that.
Like,
dude, you know how many tips I get where it's like, no sodas, don't drink soda. Go for a walk. I walk every day. Yeah. I go for a walk. Everything people tell me.
They're like,
And they're like, stop. You got me. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, look, I think it's mostly midnight desserts for me.
And the only person that's close to, probably, and not even close to, but like similar to, is Chappelle.
With his trajectory and stuff?
Chappelle was at a younger age, probably 17, was given the keys to the kingdom. Chappelle, the story is, at like 17, he went to Montreal and he did 2 different 30-minute sets to showcase.
Yeah.
And the industry stopped and was like, this is the guy.
This is the guy. It's really good. I actually want some credit because I do remember calling you and saying, what are you doing with that? And you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, you have to go shoot that. Is that not true?
It is true, and it did help me.
Fucking thank you.
Because I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know.
I want that to be part of the narrative of the story.
Ryan Dunn didn't feel like he ever needed to leave Pennsylvania.
And he just, he's so talented, man. He's so naturally funny. You don't have to, like, get green lit or, you know, approved budget, like whatever.
Yeah.
You don't need permission from anybody to work.
Yeah.
First video I made, I uploaded 2 videos together. One was the condom prank, where I took this dishwashing detergent that looked exactly like semen, and I squirted that into a rubber. So it's like dishwashing detergent in a rubber. But
It's so funny you say rubber. I've never said that word. Like, I've never used that term for that thing.
Okay.
And I've just said it. But like today, I heard Jay-Z say it in a song with Meek Mill or with Memphis Bleak, and I went, that's crazy that he said rubber.
I had and it's just like, and I put a bunch of this.
I've been eating pretty much caveman for 74 days. And so with a diet and not drinking, it's just really keep staying away from sugar. But I don't know, like, the treat thing is the thing. Like, was alcohol ever your thing?
I mean, I could never even fathom going a single day without it.
Really?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you went not cold turkey.
Do you have a thing where, because I have a thing where if I'm doing stand-up, I don't want to be like feels too cool or like too, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you get like a jacket and you're like, it's a cool jacket. You like it. But then you go like, oh, I don't want to do stand-up in this jacket.
I just shit my pants.
Did you shit?
I just shit my pants.
Did you shit?
I just shit my pants.
Oh, no.
I just shit my pants.
Really?
I just shit my pants.
Oh, fuck.
I just shit my pants. I haven't shit my pants since I lost weight. That's old school.
Is it wet?
I was going to wear these jeans tonight.
Not anymore.
Hold on. Let me check.
Oh, no. Oh,
I shit my pants. No, I didn't shit my pants.
Oh my God, dude.
I thought that was wet. Let me see a piece of tissue real quick.
I'm digging these. We're talking about glasses. Those work, dude. Are those regularly? Like you bust those out or special occasions? Or?
Yeah, I'll wear them like if I'm in the airport or somewhere to kind of be a little more incognito, I guess. You know.
I mean, I don't think they have that effect. I
don't think so?
I just think they look good. They're good glasses. I don't think I look over. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? I think.
Yeah, maybe I got to get him tinted or something. But
yeah, because just to be clear, you did say I have some sunglasses.
Yeah. Oh, you wear these? I'll wear them in the sun, dude. It sucks.
Oh, those suck.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get on the treadmill. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna watch Full Swing on fucking Netflix. I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. I'm gonna sauna before I go to bed. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna push it tomorrow. And you're like, yeah. That's the right thing. You know what? Maybe we'll take a hit of weed and smoke a cigar. That'll be the same feeling. And then there's what you just did to me. Is when they're real. They're real. That's the Lord talking to you.
Yeah.
Where you brought up vodka, and my brain said, we haven't danced with her in a while. Like just her. No soda, no cranberry, just her. Just me and her. Just me and her and ice. Maybe a little bit of a lime, just to like a bow in her hair, a flower in her hair.
It was good. It was nice, man. It was nice. Yeah.
I want you to remember this. I'm being dead serious. I want you to remember that you did this to me tonight.
Okay.
No, because this one's a real one.
Yeah.
We skated over Jason's wife.
We did?
Yeah, we didn't even talk about it. We talked about Travis's chick.
Oh.
Jason's wife is one bad motherfucker.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I saw
No, she's beautiful, but she is like. Do you ever? I started watching. You ever see the clip of when he wants to bring his kids to the Super Bowl? She's like, no fucking way. We're not spending $4,000 so she can see the Super Bowl. And he's like, do you want to go to the Super Bowl? And she's like, are you in it? And he's like, yeah. She's like, yeah. And he's like, we're going to take him to the Super Bowl. She is a fucking awesome.
Yeah.
She had to be a collegiate athlete.
I think she was.
She had to be.
I think she was.
She is beautiful. She is beautiful.
They might have met like at school or something.
I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh, what if we could pit their chicks against each other? What if we bring in our wives in this? No. That's a bad call.
I mean, I don't think he'd mind sharing this because he wrote a book about it, Finding Ultra, but which is a great book, by the way, he went to Stanford on a D1 swimming scholarship, and he destroyed his swimming career.
Swimmers
drinking.
All alcoholics.
Is that right?
Dude, it's a big...
Really?
Yeah, swimmers are all lushes. Swimmers and hockey players.
And hockey players. Okay, well, he doesn't... he's sober many years now, but, the running thing helped him. He also, for him, plant-based worked best. I think everybody finds a diet that works best for them.
A lot of people that go sober end up putting a lot of energy into exercise. I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
You start moving like crazy.
You start feeling good. That's the thing.
But they're also channeling like some of that anxiety
absolutely.
And emotion that used to go into like consumption of booze or drugs, and they go like, I fucking ran 12 miles and then
Yeah, you can literally move the anxiety out of your body.
Hello? And then I look at the guy and he was like, and I go, what do you mean? I go, like, no one is listening. Not like a few.
Right.
They're still like, you're just having the party. So I was like, hello. I start to say shit. I'm like, you guys are fucking rude. Right? So after a minute, I'm looking at him. I'm like, I don't, because they're like, it's yours. I go, you have to like, we gotta stop. So I just perform to them. And so I'm like, wow, it's not even, it doesn't feel like regular bombing because there's still nobody. And when I finally go, ladies and gentlemen, Carson Palmer, they all stop. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Wow.
Like they all, like 250 people just stop.
Wow.
He's like, what's that feel like? I'm like, well, no one was listening. I go, so it doesn't feel like a regular bomb.
Oh my!
Disinvited me from.
So somebody was listening, but you insulting them.
Yeah, they were like, no, this guy's not coming.
Yeah.
I sweat shit heavy, and so I hadn't drank for like 83 days, and I knew I was drinking on the cruise, but I was having a hard time getting into it because I honestly I feel so good not drinking that when I drink, the next day I was terrified of the next day.
Yeah,
and Leanne's like, yo, go out in Miami, get yourself a really great bottle of champagne. And really treat yourself. And what's crazy is that like, I don't know much about champagne, but I do know Nori, by the way, write down Kodak Black. We got to talk about Kodak Black.
Oh boy.
Fucking, that is the craziest interview I've ever seen. Nori, I think I texted with Nori about restaurants and I see him just fucking, don't you love when you hear good guy stories like on the DL?
Of course.
On the DL. Like no one's supposed to know how good this guy is. And then it comes out.
And that was when she was working.
Yeah, and that's why I leave my name on the GoFundMe lists, because how are they going to know it's me if they don't know my name?
Yeah.
Right?
I've done both, I said, though. I mean,
okay.
I've done.
Why do you go anonymous when you do anonymous?
I don't want the attention for it.
So like who? Someone you hated, but you're like, ugh.
No, I just go like, I don't want this. I just don't want it to be a thing, I guess.
Voice of control. Are drugs involved in this?
Not bad ones.
Okay.
Honestly, just caffeine. It's kind of insane. So before one of these shows, I think we were at Marathon like 2 years ago.
And Marathon is a
Marathon
music venue.
Okay. I've probably weighed 50 pounds more than I do right now.
No
just keep
judgment.
that in mind for context. I was tired as hell. I wasn't drinking at the time. So I went to the gas station and got some caffeine pills. And it's like 4 pills in a thing. And I get back to the green room. I take the 4 pills and then read the package. And it was like you're supposed to just take one of these. You know, you got 4 deals.
That's a recommendation.
Yeah, well, so I meet. This is like 10 minutes later. I finally read the package. I go back in the bathroom, make myself throw up, and like 1 empty capsule came out in my puke.
So then, let's think this out. Let's have something to look forward to.
I feel like going to gamble now.
I want to gamble.
Yeah,
I want to gamble. I want to gamble. I want to gamble. Look, if I'm not gonna, if I'm trying to figure out how this weekends are gonna work, and I can easily not drink on Sundays if I'm gambling all day. Who's Taylor Swift? Matty Healy. Oh, the frontman of the 1975. You know what? They broke up.
All right.
Fucking.
Oh, here we go. Who is Taylor's ex-boyfriend's? That second drop down. Here we go. John Mayer.
Oh, what the fuck? John Mayer.
That's not even
Jake
that long.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Harry Styles. Connor Kennedy, the center for the Guardians.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's the list? Jesus Christ, man.
Taylor Lautner.
Sam Armstrong. Joe Jonas. Yeah, Taylor Lautner.
Drew Dunlop. Thomas Hiddleston.
I don't know half these names.
Not a lot of diversity.
And I went to, but I still had a great meal. I was like, what's available? And then I saw Vince Young's Steakhouse. I was like, Vince is my guy.
Vince is a good guy.
He's the fucking man.
He's the man.
Let's go. Had a great steak. Delicious. The apps were incredible. That was when I was like, that was the 3rd in a row, one of those shits that I took,
Yeah.
the 3 a.m. overheated, like, but, you know, like begging God for forgiveness while I'm shitting. All my clothes are off. I have to lay my fat stomach on the cold tub to just chill out for a second. And then I was like, Vince wouldn't do this to me. This is a me problem.
This is not on the fucking Vince Young.
A Heisman winner would never treat me like this.
And I'm like, yeah, all right. And he goes, oh, you want to see? And he and this is when you're like, this guy is insane. And then he busts out a pair and he goes, like, these right here? And he puts them on. He goes, you want to fuck with me? He goes, that's why I got these, man. He goes, these are the don't fuck with me. So put these on. And then he's like, and he picks them off and he gives another. He's like, these are like for like, you know, I'm interested. I don't want to threaten you. And in a way, I kind of get what he's going for. That's what carried him. Like, it was all sunglasses. It was all sunglasses. I feel like there is.
Now, it's like you're lucky to find a guy who's...
Hey, Reggie! Remember those Italian dudes that had like, you saw those guys, right? It was like 2 Italian dudes, and that was like their act. And so he never switched out, and then, but he would switch out the second guy like every few years.
Yeah.
He is the best Instagram.
There are people who say they don't give a fuck, and then there are people who really live that life. And if you like, all he's been doing is posting puffy shit like over and over.
So do you think he doesn't like Puffy?
For sure. For sure.
He offered to buy, he texted him and said, I'll buy Revolt from you. He was like, can you?
He's doing a documentary on him? I didn't know that.
Wait, where's the one he wrote? He offered. I mean, I would never want 50 Cent against me.
Yeah. Oh my God. And they're right. This comment is right. Diddy must have tried to Little Boy 50 at one point in his career because he ain't letting up. He's been posting nonstop about 50.
Yeah.
Every day.
About Diddy.
About Diddy, yes. Every day. Also, I don't feel like people would see you and be like, you look like this guy Bert. They just know you're Bert.
A lot of people, or Brett, or Burnt.
Oh, right. But they know that that's you. I get a ton of, they're like, do you know who you look like? And they're like sincere.
Really?
And I'm like, who? And they're like, there's a comedian. You look just like him. And I was like, oh yeah, that's my cousin. And they're like, oh really? Like, yeah. And then they just walk away.
This lady got on the plane last week, and I'm sitting next to this dude, not drinking, and she walks by. She works for the airline, and she walks by and she goes, leans over the guy and she goes, I just need you to, she was doing a jump seat. I might have told you this story before. She was in a jump seat. She was a flight attendant and she was like, I just need to tell you that you guys saved my life over the pandemic.
I'm trying to save up for a new dirt bike, but I don't know how to get some money.
You're trying to save up for a new dirt bike, but you don't have any money, and you're calling. Get a job. I think get a job, homie. That's what I would do. I'd get a fucking job, Willie. That's how they do it. You get a job, they give you some money, you get a dirt bike, you get into an accident on your dirt bike, and you are in intensive care for a long time. And that's how it works, man. That's how life works. So I think, yeah, you just got to stay on the path and fill out an application. Willie, praise God, baby. Good luck, bub.
You forget, caramel popcorn is like a hand job from a dude. You're like, oh, wow, this is better than I thought it was going to be. You're like, fuck. Every time we would have people deliver us, we have caramel popcorn downstairs right now that I've been looking at. I haven't had sugar in 74 fucking days.
Dude.
I haven't had sugar.
I'm proud of you, man. But isn't alcohol filled with sugar?
I haven't had alcohol.
Oh, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
So you're just like white knuckling it?
No, I'm not sober, but like,
so you're smoking weed?
I'll smoke weed if I want to, and if I've always said I wish Xanax worked for me on a flight. It only works for me at home, and I don't find a usefulness for it at home.
Dude,
but
so funny, man. Like, I remember when I was in rehab, and by the way, so far I've interrupted you twice. I'm really trying to be a lot better about that.
Did you do it?
I didn't do it. And they were like pretty pissed at me for not taking a Fallout weekend on like a Wednesday. But then I did.
Like that was associated with like a terrorist threat?
Yeah. I just felt like I'd been in New York for 9/11. I'd been in New Orleans for Katrina. I felt like I can't keep
You were
risking
there
it.
for Katrina?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Were you living there?
No, I was a freshman at Tulane, so I ended up leaving before, like it was coming, and I left. I evacuated.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. No, I wasn't there when it was like coming. But
Did you go back?
I went back for a year and a half.
How long between evacuating and going back though?
A semester.
Like a semester away?
Yeah.
Wow. Was the school shut down for a semester?
Yeah, it was underwater.
Wow.
I mean, that whole fucking city, man.
Yeah.
But I love New Orleans. That's like one of my favorite
I remember
cities.
bombing so hard with a Katrina joke in like the month after.
My parents used to take us to Love's barbecue. Do you remember that?
I do remember Love's.
Yeah. Where did you go? Where'd you guys from? Florida? You guys?
Yeah, that's the other part of this. I grew up in Florida.
What part of Florida?
Tampa. My first concert was a Beach Boys concert.
Oh, let's talk about that. Was I there? Where was it?
Oh, wait. I
Because-
wouldn't be shocked. It was with Whitney Houston
Oh,
at Tampa Stadium.
Oh, I don't know. What year? In the 90s or something?
It had to be...
We should call Mike Love. You called your dad. Should we want to call? Well, let me see where they're at.
The Beach Boys is a band, and I will say this, and that if you're listening to this, you're sleeping on. Meaning, you don't realize the brilliance of their music. When people think of the Beach Boys, they think little old lady from Pasadena.
Well, that was Jenna Dean. But
Right. Or no, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
You think of like
you're thinking of
Surfing
Little
USA.
Deuce Coupe.
Yeah.
You don't know what I mean. The real shit, do you? And I was like, what's the real shit? And they're like, the stuff from Russia. I was like, no.
What's in this?
And then they came to my show at the Flyers game after the Wells Fargo Center. Holy shit! It's not even white.
It smells like ammonia. Like is this a smelling salt?
I don't know. Let me see it. It's fucking. Holy God! It looks spoiled.
It says white dry. None of it's white.
None of it's white.
What year is it from?
I just opened it.
I opened it.
No.
Yeah. You don't even know. It doesn't say the strength.
I don't know
of
if
it.
you're supposed to swallow it. Maybe we should stick to Zins.
Oh, you want to try one?
You try one. Yeah, I'll try one. Do you have to spit?
I don't know, but
Fucking what are the?
Can we get cups just in case?
Yeah.
This is super fucking gnarly.
I got a Asian whiskey, like a Japanese whiskey, and I did a nice filled it up to the top, and it was so good. It tasted like sweet tea. And then I had one, and then I didn't have another one, and we had to go do something. I had to get in the car and do something with Leanne. She drove, and we did something, and it was nice. It was nice and cool. And when I got home, I said, I don't want another one. This brings me happiness. It's just a way to quantify. The easiest one to explain is like one morning, I made the girls breakfast, and then they went to school, and I had a cup of coffee and a cigar out in my backyard, and I was writing in my happiness journal, and I went, God, I really feel great. I feel great making that. I feel like of service. I feel great making them breakfast. And I should remember that. This brings me happiness. So then, like 2 days later, I'm hungover. I'm doing shows at the store. I'm hungover. The girls are up, and Isla's like, "Hey, are you making breakfast?" I was like, I think I'm gonna just sleep. And I hear Leanne, let him sleep. He was out late last night. But in my head, I know that I'd written it down. That makes me happy. So I went, stop, get out of bed, go make them breakfast, and see if that works again. And I made them breakfast. My hangover went away. I'm laughing. I'm having coffee. We're all joking. They go all get in the car. Every dude working a real blue collar job would love a little bit of a hack on how to make their life a little more manageable so they can be there for the kids in the morning or be there at night when they get home. Their day isn't overwhelmed. And now my algorithm is filled with blue collar life coaches, like just dudes jacked who have motorcycles that are tatted up. They're like, yo, I found Jesus a couple years ago and I'm better now. And they just show you these life hacks for them. And I'm like, more of that, please. I wish I could say this guy's name. It's something Thrasher, because I would love to give him the credit, but he changed. I smoked weed and watched him, and I went, oh yeah, that's accessible.
And my mom and dad said, we don't need a house. We're fine right here. And so there was a little piece of property, it was an acre just down the street from where I grew up and where they were living. So I went and bought it secretly, and I took them over there. And my mom said, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm going to build you this house here. Something really special. She goes, no, my house is fine. She goes, but if you want to do something, you can put a pool in our backyard. So I put a pool in the backyard and sold my piece of property because they didn't want to move into it. And they lived there till the very end. And when my dad passed recently, I bought the house. And so now I own my house.
The clean comics are the scariest.
They're the scariest.
Yeah, because
there's the same type of dude you meet who's just like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, those
types of dudes who are like too friendly.
They're always wearing loud shirts. Like, what's with all the color, man? Why don't you fucking dial it down a little bit? Here's the thing: the clean comics, no matter what, are hiding something. I always feel like when people are like, this filthy comic, I'm like, that guy is so much sweeter than like that stuff he does on stage. It's crazy and like dirty and whatever.
It's crazy. Like it's why I loved your book. Is if you would have told me, I've said that so many times. If you would have told me, I said first time I did Red Rocks, I had the crew that was working for me for Travel Channel was shooting me, and I said if you would have told me I was working Red Rocks and you guys would be my crew, and my sound guy John Sales said I would have bet $1 million this would never happen. And I said really? He goes, in a million fucking years. I went to Florida State. I was flying to Florida State in a private jet to go to a game where they were I was like, if you told me when I was graduating college, first of all, that I'd be on a private jet.
You're on fucking fire. Yep. I don't know if you even see it because you're such a humble in your own head, dude. I know that as you as your friend, but you are fucking scorching. It has been so fun to watch, dude. I mean, it is. Look at him blushing. It was fucking beautiful, dog.
Thanks.
So happy for you, man. I was so glad to get the call. One, just to get to hang out, but two, to tell you in front of you and your audience that, man, I have never laughed as hard. I could just bore you with how happy I am in every podcast I've watched and just fucking how genius and brilliant you are. But the Dana White one most recently. Dude, I've watched every Dana White scrum my whole career. Right? I got to where I don't even watch the fights sometimes. I just go Google Dana White and see what the postscript, what did he say about the fights? Are they fucking worth watching? He'll tell me the truth.
There's a Chinese live feed you can get of just him watching the fights too. Really? Yeah.
No. I was like, that's the worst fucking city in the state. Fuck Syracuse. And he's like, I have never, he's getting like offended. And then he's trying to high five us after hands. I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Fuck off.
And he pulled this card. He goes, well, I have a wife and kid. What do you have? I'm like, where the fuck are they? It's 2 a.m. You're at the blackjack table. Clearly, it's not good.
A guy who doesn't know how to play will fuck the table too.
Dude, you get so fucking mad.
I've had a few on tour with me, even friends who I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, isn't it the point to get 21? I'm like, bro, no, dude. You don't you're not, they're hitting 18s. They're like, I'm trying to get to 21. I'm like, that's not how you play. They're like, I
know, but those dudes are kind of funny too. We're just watching a dude just flush their money down the toilet.
One of my friend's dads was with us, and he goes, if you hit that again, I'll stab you in the fucking neck.
This is like a grown man. I was like, oh my God.
Because, you know, it's going to sound like a really weird thing to say, but your fucking skin looks amazing. Your skin looks fucking amazing. I want to know your skincare regimen. Like, your skin looks amazing.
I have a skincare line.
No, you don't.
I do.
Are you serious?
I do. I haven't really done much with it. It needs to be revitalized, but it's out. Maybe we need to invest together in skincare line. But yeah,
fix my fucking face.
I know, but
I need under. Do you do an under eye serum?
I do. It's our best thing.
Because your under eyes are. I mean, hold on. Let's take 2 seconds. Are you looking at your under eyes are like no bags, no dark circles, no fine lines? Quite honestly.
I mean,
what's your ethnic descent? Is it like?
Oh, I did that 23andMe.
Yeah.
And it was literally like Germany, maybe, you know.
Yeah. Well, they say things about that.
Finland, Scandinavian, Viking.
One time I was on the show and I was warming up the crowd beforehand, and he just walked in and the crowd went crazy. But writers have to be more subservient to the performer to get him to do stuff the way they want him. Chevy Chase, he walked in, he's like this, I'm warming up, and he says, just waves, and they're all going nuts, and he leans into me and goes, I just did that to fuck you up, and walked off.
That's pretty funny though, man. That's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah. Like the thing about, I don't know what this says about me, but all the things you're saying, like if I'm in that room, I have a smile. I find it endearing.
It is endearing, but he would he would like screw up the sketches deliberately.
Oh, really?
But it is funny, but he's like a little kid.
Yeah.
One time I was at Aspen Comedy Festival, 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning, everyone's getting their cars to get out. It's the last.
So he shows me a video, and I am actually looking at the video because he's done like, you know, fake plate things before for jokes. I'm like, is this for real? Like to go from that to now 10 reps, and he's 50. I was like, hey man, that's very impressive. But what impressed me even more was that he calls me. He's like, this is why it impresses me, is because he doesn't do it. So not the bench thing. It's what I'm about to tell you. He's like, I'm trying to figure out my 1 rep max for a strict press. Mm-hmm. Now, even like casual gym goers, they don't all do strict press. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a pretty specific thing that you are like after. And it is it's a tough lift.
And all those guys are like, that's the hardest thing I ever did in my life was working out for that team.
Yeah.
They're like, he's a lunatic.
I wonder, like, I worked out pretty hard today, but I go, it's nothing like those kids. No. Like, it's really.
Have you not seen, like, the mat drills thing they were doing?
I just started it at the gym today. I started watching
There's a couple of teams that have, like, famous mat drills, and I didn't know about theirs, but there's, like, they basically 2 of you lay on the floor on a mat, and one of them tries to escape the mat by crawling away